Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about my healthcare experience when I went to Europe. So I just got back from a trip to Europe. I went to Barcelona in Spain, and then I flew to Amsterdam. I was in Barcelona for a week, and I was in Amsterdam for a week too. And then I went to Vals, which is in southern Holland, for my uncle's wedding. And I went to Mönchengladbach, Germany, for 2 days, and then I flew back home. So when I was in Amsterdam, I hurt my foot. I went dancing for too long in a nightclub, and the next morning when I woke up, my foot was like it hurt really bad. It really felt like someone had like taken a hammer and almost smashed right behind my toes on my left foot, and it was swollen, but there was no marking, so I was kind of confused. I was like, why does it hurt? And I guess I just had overstressed it. So I took it easy for a couple days, and then I decided. Then I went on a walking tour of Amsterdam. I did a guided tour of the red light district and this like museum tour and stuff like that. So I was walking around for like 2 hours straight, and normally that's no problem. I walked like 6 miles a day when I was in Barcelona, and I'd been biking around all the time in Amsterdam. But by the end of the walking tour, my foot was just hurting really badly, and I was limping, and I knew it was no good. So the next day, I drove with my uncle to Vals because we were going there for his wedding, and not much improvement at all. I think I waited one more day, and then on the day of the wedding was starting at like 1:32, something like that. I was like, okay, I gotta go to the doctor. It's not improving. It's getting bad. So I was at a hotel, so I asked the hotel reception, where's the nearest doctor? So they pointed out on the map for me, and it was like a block or 2 blocks away. I think it was 3 blocks. So I called them up, and the recording line was in Dutch, so I had no idea. I speak German and Spanish pretty well, but I can't speak Dutch, so I had no idea what they were saying on the recording line. So I said, screw it, I'm just gonna go straight there. So it was I think it was around 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that, on a Thursday. And I walked there. I limped to the doctor's office. So I get there, and I check in, and I just go up to the desk and I say, hey, how's it going? I got this problem, blah blah blah. They take my ID, they scan it, they tell me that it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to check me out. So keep in mind, I'm an American citizen. I live in California. I have health insurance here, but I don't have it's not international health insurance. So I'm over there, I am not a citizen, and I have no health insurance. So they tell me, okay, so it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to see you. So I say, okay, all right. That's like what a copay is in America. So I go, I had to get cash. They wanted me to pay in cash. So I was like, that's fine. So there's an ATM across the street. So I went and got the cash, and then I waited probably like 10 minutes, maybe. It might have even been less than that. It was like 10, 15 minutes. I went and saw the doctor. She examined my foot. She did a thorough job. She looked at it. She said, she asked me questions, blah, blah, blah. She looked at my other foot to compare. My left one was kind of swollen and blah, blah, blah. So she looked at the foot. She said, okay, I think you need an x-ray. I think it has like a stress fracture. And, she heard my whole story and everything. She said, I don't have an x-ray machine here, but I can write you an x-ray recommendation for a hospital. So I said, okay, that sounds good. She wrote me the recommendation, and then she said, I can give you it's like a painkiller / anti-inflammatory prescription. So I went, so I said, okay, great, that sounds good. I'll take the prescription. So she gave me the prescription. There was a pharmacy in the downstairs of the doctor's office. So I went down the elevator, went to the pharmacy. They filled my prescription, and it was 7 euros for this like painkiller / anti-inflammatory pill. So and it was funny because they said, "Oh, do you want a receipt so you can try to get your health insurance to pay for it?" And I just started laughing. I was like, what's the point? I'm going to spend like an hour on the phone to try to get €5 from the insurance company or whatever. So I was like, no, it's fine, don't worry. So I had the painkiller, and I had the doctor, the recommendation for an X-ray. Okay, so the next day, so the wedding happens. The next day, my foot's actually feeling a little better, probably due to the pills she had given me. And so I'm driving with my relatives to Mönchengladbach, which is pretty close to the German Dutch border. So my aunt, my great aunt, she takes me to the basically the emergency room in her town, Mönchengladbach. So I go there. They had me fill out a little bit of paperwork. They photocopied my ID. I signed a couple things. So I go to get the X-ray, and First, I'll tell you how long I waited. First, I check in, then I go back to the emergency room. I probably waited about a half hour. I think I made a phone call, and I read a couple news articles on my phone. It was a half hour, and this is an emergency room. And again, I have no insurance, and I'm not a German citizen. So, go there. I wait about a half hour. I go and see the doctor. The doctor examines me again. I tell her the whole story. Then she says, "Okay, we're gonna give you an X-ray." So I walk down to the X-ray room. They do the X-ray. I go to the reception room in the X-ray wing of the hospital, and they say, "Okay, your charge is €20 for the X-ray." So I'm like, "All right, great. That sounds good. €20." So I go back up. They look at my X-ray. They say, "Okay, you don't have a stress fracture, but you need to take it easy for a bit." They're like, "You have lots of inflammation, and you just got to take it easy and etc." So they give me this. They give me a pain cream, and they wrap my foot up, and they send me on my way. So I leave the hospital, and I tell my aunt, I'm like, "Yeah, they only charged me €20," and she, you know how the Germans are. She's like, "Oh, that's not right. You probably owe them a little more." So I was like, "All right, whatever." So we go back to the billing office, and they determine that I owe them another €60. So my total charge for visiting an emergency room in Germany was €80, and that included an X-ray. So if you did the same thing in the United States and you didn't have health insurance, and especially if you weren't a citizen, I'm sure the X-ray would probably cost at least $300 or $400, and then just the fact that you're in the emergency room would at least be another couple hundred. So you'd probably be at the door at $500. I show up, not a citizen, no health insurance, and they charge me €80. And I was happy. I waited a half hour at the emergency room, and I waited maybe 15 minutes at the doctor's office in Holland. So overall, I think my experience was pretty good, and I was happy that I didn't have a fracture, because that would have really ruined the rest of my trip. And so it was really good. But I just hope that this leads to a further discussion about the healthcare system we have in the United States, because over there they have a combo it's mostly universal healthcare, so it's single payer universal healthcare where the government pays for it. And in Germany, you can buy, I think in Holland too, you can buy supplemental healthcare insurance. So if you're, for some reason you're not happy with it, then you can pay extra money. But the prices are way lower. The wait times were faster, if you ask me. And what a lot of people will say, they'll say about they'll rag on the Canadian system, or they'll rag on universal healthcare systems. They'll say, "Oh, the wait times are forever, and you're going to get a shitty doctor and poor care." And I never had that problem. And, granted, I only went to two different doctor's offices, and, a doctor's office and an emergency room. But, that was my experience. So hopefully you can pass this on to other people and tell them, spread the truth. All right, have a good one.